An offender at the Jefferson City Correctional Center.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Why nobody will listen. Today is December the 12th, 2022, and the time is now 7:42. Why nobody will listen. Nobody opened their eyes to even look. Nobody cared. Nobody believed. Nobody understood. Nobody wanted to hear. Nobody, man. Nobody. Coming from the streets, everything ain't always what people think it is. Them streets is what raised me, like I said, and I gotta be honest with you, because if I say anything else where I'm not being honest and I'm being fake, and I ain't even finna play that game where nobody is listening to me, whether I'm in front of you or whether I'm talking over the phone as I'm doing right now, sharing my story. I grew up on 43rd and 4th in Kansas City, Missouri. On that block right there, that's a one-way street. On that block right there is where it all manifests for me at. Making money, gang banging, going to clubs, doing all these things that I thought was cool to do in life. It was hip to me. I learned this stuff from and being taught the things in life. How to survive, how the struggle really was. You know, selling drugs, man, that shit wasn't easy. Sitting on that block day in and day out, trying to make a living, trying to make ends meet for myself. Rosa Mae Frazier, may she rest her soul, rest in peace. She adopted me. And when she adopted me and allowed me inside her home, that was the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me. Because I actually felt like she loved me, and I actually felt like I had a real mother. And in reality, she was my real mother. Because she never said no to me. She never turned her back on me. I always had somewhere to lay my head. I always had a hot meal. And I thank her for that. And I know she up in heaven looking down on me saying, you go get him, Gerald. You go get him. You know, one day, I was walking down the street on Forest, and I seen something kind of crazy. I seen something real crazy. I seen this woman going to the bus stop. It was about 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, I said about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, everybody coming out to go to work. And I live on 43rd and 4th. It's one block over. It's a traffic street called Truce Avenue. So I live on 4th, and then if you turn out my block going west, you would run right into Truce. And I was standing out there one early morning between one of the apartment buildings, and I was selling drugs, doing my thing. And I seen this older lady come out this house. Not really paying attention to her though, but I'm being vigilant. I mean, this is my neighborhood. This is where I grew up at. And she was walking to the bus stop. As I think back, she was going to that bus stop, and I seen her down there on that bus stop, man. And she was a little bitty old lady. She was older lady, and she was. Getting ready to get on the bus, and the bus hadn't come yet, and I seen these two people approach her and try to rob her. She had her purse on her and everything. And when I seen it, I said, hell no, man, I ain't let that old lady get robbed. I ain't let nobody take that lady innocence like that, take nothing from that woman. So I ran down there and picked up something, hit one of the people in the head with a stick, and they took off running, and the other one, I'm sitting there scuffling and tussling. I'm telling the old lady, run, come back to your house, get out of here. She ain't even run, man. She still stood there and got on that bus. That old lady was Big Mama, man. My wife's grandmother. And, later on down the line, man, my wife would be able to, share some things with you, but that's how I met my wife's family. Because her grandmother came out on the porch and said one morning, she said, that's the boy that saved my life down there on the corner. That's the boy that helped me right there. That boy right there. And then my wife's family, they took me in.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
When I say that it ain't nothing that I ain't seen in the streets, it ain't nothing that I ain't seen in the streets. I played part of that game in the streets. I was in several different relationships with women in my neighborhood, which I thought were a relationship, really wasn't. I was being a puppet for dudes, sitting in drug houses, selling drugs, just to fend for myself, man. I'm being so honest with you when I say that. I never thought that the streets would change my life like it did. Would destroy me. Because that's what it did. It destroyed me on the inside. I didn't know what love was. I didn't know. I didn't trust nobody. I was just angry and bitter. Carrying guns. Wouldn't pull a gun on nobody. I just carrying them and just doing stuff that just didn't make sense. Fighting in the clubs. My neighborhood, we was all bloods, and we had a club that, we claimed as our club was the Party House. It was on 31st Street. And we would go in the Party House, man. I'm telling you, we would go in there like 20, 30 deep. It'd be about 20, 30 of us from the neighborhood. We had our nice cars. I had Chevys. It was, as they call it, Chevys clean with paint on it, with rims. My favorite rim back then was Dayton's. I loved Dayton's. I was infatuated with Dayton's and Vogues and 14.7 standards. For you guys that, and for you all that listen to my story, that was my way of life. That was my way of life. But it changed so quick as the days come. You never know what you was getting up to. Shootouts and people trying to rob you. I'm in Emco one night, and I'm going out. I was going to pay respects to one of my partners, who I thought was my partner anyway. I was going to pay respects to one of his parties. He was throwing a birthday party, and he told me, he said, "Hey, little Gerald, man, why don't you come out to my party?" I used to rap. Everybody used to know me for MC Bumpy Face Gerald. They call me MC Bumpy Face Gerald. I used to rap a lot. Rap. I'm good with the music, and so I told him, I said, "Yeah, man, I'll come out, man." And one of my little guys was with me named Lil Twan. He's with me, rest in peace. And some told me, it was like, "Man, don't go out, G, man. Just chill." But I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go. This is what I'm saying to myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm really saying it." My drug of choice was PCP, so of course I had me a couple of sticks. I'm smoking me some juice, and in my neighborhood. It's a gas station called Amico on 47th and Brazil. So I pull up down there from 47th and Brazil, and I'm at gas pump number 10. I never forget this. And as I'm sitting at this gas pump, you got instincts about yourself. Sometimes your instincts will tell you this, sometimes your instincts will tell you that. But if you follow them, sometimes you might come out on top. Sometimes you come out on the bottom. Well, this particular night, I came out on the bottom. I'm out pumping. I wouldn't put like $40 in I have them in my truck, so I wouldn't put like $40 in the tank. So I'm filling the tank up. Like I said, I'm going to pay respects to my partner's birthday party. He got a club called Blankenship. We going up to Blankenship to pay respects to his party. And the next thing you know, I just turn around, and when I turn around, it's a burl in my face. Oh, this dude must have had a 45 or something. It was something big. And he didn't say nothing. So my instinct kicked in. I pushed the gun, turn around, and try to make a dash. It was just quick. It was a split second. That's all I had, too. That's all I had. And you just hear the boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, I'm falling, man. I fell. But more to the story, I was shot. I was hit twice in my back. And I woke up. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. I woke up in the hospital. And I woke up laying on my stomach. My grandma came in that night. She came to the hospital, her and my Uncle Tyrone. And my grandma was like, "Baby, you really got to get out the streets." And I think sometimes if I would have just stopped and listened, maybe I still be. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. It's like the streets. I felt is what raised me. The streets is what raised me. But my grandma used to always give me like these lectures, like, "Baby, you got to do something different. You got so much talent." I didn't know how, though, man. I didn't know how. I didn't trust nobody. Nobody believed in me, man. I felt like nobody cared about me. You know what I mean? I felt like I was a lost soul, man. I felt like didn't nobody want to hear me. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the only thing people wanted to do was use me for alternative motive to get everything that they wanted and then just push me to the side. Like an old piece of rag or something, like I was just some trash or something. And you know, to this day, as I teach classes, because I facilitate and teach a lot of classes, you know, I think back on it and I share my story with the class, and some of my guys and the other guys that I've helped change their life around, they say, dang, G, man, you come from an era, man, where it must have been really hard. And I say, man, y'all, what y'all doing is, it don't add up, bro. It don't add up. Y'all out there just shooting for fun. Y'all out there, y'all coming here with 50 and 60 years and 19 and 20 years old, just killing people, just unnecessary stuff. I said, y'all come in here and y'all lose yourself, man. Y'all don't try to get y'all GED or nothing. But them streets taught me one thing, man. They taught me you either being or you either stand up with your face up and your chest out. I did neither of them. I didn't do neither of them because I didn't believe in none of that. The streets taught me just what it was. The streets. That's what it was. It was the streets. People talk about the street code and this and that, and he's a rat and he's solid and he's a kid. Man, the streets is just what it is. The streets. And I can look back now and say I made some of the most senseless mistakes. I did some of the most senseless things that didn't even make sense. I can sit back now and I can say that. I can say that now because I can think back on it and look at it and say, what the hell happened? What the hell did I do? I'm sitting behind the death fence now. But the wall still talk though. I left 8 beautiful kids out there, man. 4 girls and 4 boys. I got 2 grandbabies. I can't let them fall victim to this stuff, man. I had to do something different. My wife moved up here from the city.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
And her coming in that visiting room, seeing me, that means something to me. That means that I know I got somebody, at least one person I know to care about. My grandkids and my kids go without saying because I know my daughters Jarika and Janique and Ariana and my grandsons, I know they care about. They show me that each and every day. That's why my heart beat. That's why I take them breaths. Take it for them. I also take it for myself to be able to learn and know the difference and have the wisdom and the knowledge to not create more victims, not to go back to where I come from. And I was riding down the street, leaving off my block one Sunday morning, March 4th, 2001. 7:30, between 7:30 and 8 in the morning. This is where it all happened. This I want y'all to really listen to me. I want y'all to really listen to me. This is where it all happened. This is how it all happened. I ain't saying nothing that I shouldn't say. I'm saying everything that I'm supposed to say. I'm saying everything that people should have been said for me. But they left me behind. They didn't care. They didn't believe. They didn't trust me. They thought I was just talking. So I'm going to give it to you straight as I went. I bought me a Grand National. Like I said, I was selling drugs in the streets. You know, I was hustling in the streets. I bought me a Grand National, a T-type. I'm coming out Truce one early morning, March 4th, 2001, between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Somebody called me. Somebody want to make a transaction deal with me. I went out Truce, went out 77th to Truce, 7 Heaven, made it all the way out there. Person I was supposed to contact, they wasn't there. Frustrated, mad because they wasn't there. Turn around, go back the same way I come. When I come back, is I'm going north on Truce. Because you got north and south traffic. I'm going north. On the right-hand side, when I get to 57th Street, I get down to 56th. It's on the right-hand side. It's a place called Premier Paging at the time. There's 2 police officers sitting in the parking lot. Well, it's 2 police cars. I'm sorry. It's 2 police cars sitting in the parking lot. And as they sit in the parking lot, they door to door talking to each other. You know, it's early in the morning. This is what they do. You know what I'm saying? They ain't like me. You know what I'm saying? They seen a young dude. The police always gave me problems. You know what I'm saying? The police, they always harass my neighborhood, harass my block. But this particular morning, man, car pulled out behind. Not right behind me, but pulled out in traffic, but I ain't even paying attention to that because I ain't tripping. I'm legit. So when he pulls out, I just happen to look at my rear view and I see a police car like 2 cars behind me, and he's trying to maneuver in behind me, but he can't because, like I said, there's 1 lane traffic on Truce with the turning lane in the middle going going north and south. And as I get to 56 going north, the light is red, so I'm stopped at the light. Light turned green. I proceed on through the light. When I proceed on through the light, the police officer, there's 2 of them in the car now, a white officer and a black officer. They end up behind me. It's a college right there on 52nd and 53rd Truce. They pull me over right there. I pull over. When I pull over, I know I got drugs on me. That's exactly what I got on me. I ain't got nothing but drugs on me. When I pull over, they get out. When they get out, one coming to one side of the car, the other one coming to the other side of the car. But the one that's coming to my side, he got his hand on his gun as if like he pulling his gun out. I made a U-turn. I made a U-turn. I proceeded to high speed run. I proceeded to loot them. They get in their car, they make a U-turn right with me. They jump in their cars, make a U-turn right with me. I'm coming back south now. When I get to 55th and Truce, the intersection right there, because it's an intersection, going east and west, north and south, I'm going south. It's a car right there in the intersection. I try to hit my brakes in my Grand National because it's real. It's a souped-up car. So I hit the brakes and it skied all the way, and it hit the car and knocked it all the way up the street. At that moment, the wreck must have knocked me out because it was like a quick second. My face hit the steering wheel, slit my mouth open. At that time, I'm jumping out my car. The police car is going so fast, so it don't run into me. It goes around the car wreck because a car wreck has occurred. I jump out my window. I climb out my car window, and I proceed to run south on Truce. As I'm running south on Truce, they try to cut me off with their car. I turn around and proceed to run north on feet. I'm on my feet now, running. I cat a corner and I go over to 55th and Truce. I go over to a blue Escort that's parked at the corner with 2 white people in it. And one is a woman, that's the driver. The other one is the husband, which is the passenger. I'm so scared. I promise you, y'all, man. I'm not putting no 2 on the 10. I'm not being extra. I'm so scared. I just open her door, and I just sit there on her left leg. I literally sit there on her leg. I don't push nobody. I don't tell nobody to get out. I don't do any of these things. I just sit there silent. The guy, the passenger in the car, he's saying, "Take the car. You can take the car. Just don't hurt us. Just don't hurt us." He's pulling his wife, and I come to find out this is his wife. He's pulling his wife over the car. I don't know that it's a stick. It's an Escort. It's a stick. It jerked because it stalled. So he pulls her over and pulls her out the car, and they fall right there on the ground. Me, I get the car started, it jerks a little bit because I'm trying to get a car. So it's a stick, and I take off running. Now, the police did get out to chase me on foot, but he stopped to check on the victim of the car that I hit, which is right there. It's all right there in the intersection. But I knocked the car up a little ways up the street. I get away. When I get away, the police chase me with their car, and I still get away from them. I ditched the car on a back street over in my neighborhood, and
You have 1 minute left.
I jump in another car. We're going to continue this, though. We're going to continue this because this is important. I want the world to hear this. I want the world to hear this because this is serious. This is my life I'm talking about. And I got facts to back up everything that I'm saying, and I'll prove it to whoever. But this is what got this started because listen, they used me. The system abused me. And I'm not being silent no more. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell everybody exactly what happened. I love y'all, man. Please just hear me on this. Why nobody will listen.